Hi guys, this is Shikhar Saraswat. I have just now completed my master's certification in hybrid electric vehicle design and simulation with majors in CFD from SkillLink, and it's been a long journey of around 10 to 12 months. And I have done basic BTech in mechanical engineering from JCRC College Jaipur with a CGPA of 8.25. I'm having 2 years of work experience in mechanical industry where I've worked with R&D teams as well as in the business operations mechanical. Coming on to projects, the projects in the SkillLink are totally industry oriented. My first priority while getting into this course was to check whether the projects which we are offered or which we are going to work on are relevant to the industry or not. And I talked to my colleagues in the industry before starting into the course, and I discussed the whole curriculum with them, and they told me like the software they are using, like basically if I talk about CFD, we have worked on Star CCM, we have worked on pre-processing for ANSA, we have worked on Converge for advanced IC engine simulations, and even for numerical analysis we have worked on MATLAB, which is a really great tool to work upon. I talked to them who are having around 10 to 12 years of work experience in the corporate as well as in the global industry, and they told me like it's a good to go thing. So I started working upon this course of Masters Hybrid EV, and I worked on various projects. The main thing about the project is, first of all, you have to go through some of the research papers in order to start getting of the theory part as well as to get the background of what you want to do through the project. Secondly, the projects are not that easy as you can think of. Some of the major projects might even take around 15 to 20 days to get completed. And during that time period, what we do is, first of all, we start working upon ourselves. We get a we get a support engineer allotted to us for a particular project, or you can say for a particular course. We have continuous support. I mean, continuous means 24/7 support. We can raise a query on support at SkillLink. We can put them a WhatsApp message. We can arrange a Zoom session or a conference call with them to get our query sorted out within a particular time duration, and then we can move ahead. And basically, there is a rigorous check of are we up to that level, because if I'm going to submit my challenges as well as projects on time, uh, that means that I can cope up with those things. But if I'm not submitting those projects and things on time, then it means you are not able to get up to that mark, and then you get a push from your support engineer. So what I basically did was I went to the research papers and then started writing on the project reports, perform the simulations, get it checked by my support engineers thoroughly. I mean, thoroughly means on every alternative day of while writing a project report or while working on a project, and then I basically conclude or post process my results to in the best way to conclude my outcomings of that project. Basically, talking about a few of the projects like the Ahmed body simulation for external aerodynamics using Star CCM, the parental mirror simulations for shockwave using Converge, many numerical analysis problems which I have worked on. I get to learn the things from the trash. I mean, learned the theory part. I then understood the basic of the mathematical basic, the thing that is required. I mean, the physics part, and then the basic understanding of the tool through which we simulate the results in order to get the exact outcome. And later on, the project reports are scored by the support engineers, so you directly get your your feedback, how your report is, and what all inputs are you going to require in so that you can improve in the next project. So the projects at SkillLink are, I can say, the benchmark which separates the skilling team from any other courses being offered in the industry as of now. And as well as I can say that these are the projects. I mean, I've worked upon around 25 to 30 big projects throughout my course, be it in EV part, be it in CFD part. Uh, it helped me a lot because they are only going to get your CV shortlisted. Yes, your prior experience will definitely help in giving you a boost, but without a good project report, without a good detailed report, and all the projects being mentioned onto your CV is not going to shortlist in any of the interviews, because the first priority of getting into an interview is that your CV should make us such an impact that interviewer should not give a second thought about it. So the first thing I did was I worked a lot on my CVs, and I worked a lot on my project reports. And the reports can be as for example, if I take an example of one of my reports, it will be CFD simulation of a 96-volt battery pack. So I started it from the theory of the battery, and then I went on to how we created a battery model, the pre-processing of the battery, like mashing and all, uh, how we perform the thermal simulation for internal flows and cooling, and then the post-process the results, and then concluded that what all impacts we can have based upon our inputs. So the report can be as large as 60 to 70 pages. If you want to have a detail, it's a kind of a detailed thesis. But the most important thing is you do have a complete knowledge of any kind of a project you have worked upon, and putting on 20 to 30 or 20 to 25 projects on a resume will definitely separate you from any other guy applying for the same job in the same domain. So yes, they have these projects helped me in boosting myself, whether in terms of whether it be in confidence or whether it be in fundamentals of CFD or HEV, and lastly, making myself much more eligible and employable through my through a good resume. My experience with the career success team has been really amazing. You can call career success team as the part of the product launching of what Skillink has. I mean, yes, there is a product on a website which needs to be reviewed and checked upon as how we are working or how we are getting output of it. So yes, there are support engineers which help us, but the main thing is customer success team, because they get direct feedback from us, whether it be weekly, monthly, or whatever your schedule is with your customer support engineer. So my journey with Skillink has 40% of the time given to the customer support team, or the 40% of the time with the Skillink has been with the customer success team. If I particularly talk about Mr. Naveen Kumar, who is working in the customer support team, we used to have I mean, I was enrolled into the course in the month of April in 2019. And then we had the residential program. After that residential program, I came back and started working on my normal job. But getting onto the projects along with the job was not that easy. And it's really tough taking 2 to 3 hours daily, because the day has been hectic. Then also we used to have a weekend call with Mr. Naveen, and he's dealing with the customer success team. He used to tell me that yes, Shikhar, you need to boost up your profile. You need to put in some of these things into your profile, so that it gains value. Like end of May and the beginning of June, we started working on LinkedIn profiles. I had a LinkedIn account earlier also, but it was not that much, I can say, legitimate or accurate for the mechanical or CFD profile. So I get it reviewed from Mr. Naveen on a weekly basis. Then we have a particular set of templates which we use for having regular follow-ups with our HRs or connections, in order to get a good go through, so that in case there is an opening in a particular company, then we can directly connect with that person, and we can ask for them so that they can recommend us, or if they want to. It's not forceful, but yes, at least having a connection and a good conversation with them will definitely help us in getting recommended later on, whether it be after 6 months, whether it be after 3 months, or after 1 year. And it definitely helped us, all of us, in the MHEV course. If I talk about, yes, the discussion with Mr. Naveen has been encouraging. He used to call me up during the office hours also. But yes, I always get some inputs from him, and then I work on things. Then I share them all back with Mr. Naveen as well as with Mr. Venkat. And the wonderful thing is that they really look upon the things and how they can be improved. I kept on improving my CV. I worked on my CV for around 3 to 4 months regularly. I mean, regularly means in once in every week. I used to edit my CV, update few things, remove few things, so that it becomes more and more accurate in technical terms for getting it shortlisted and putting onto the right keywords in order to get it shortlisted for a particular opening is the real game changer, because without having particular keywords, your resume is never going to be get shortlisted, whether it be LinkedIn search or whether it be Naukri.com. Secondly, after a good resume build up, we have a cover letter development in which we have worked on various kinds of templates of cover letters and then finalize a particular one. Third, there is a particular team in customer success team itself. I mean, I can say it's a small team or a small part of the customer success, which used to, who used to send us up with the emails bi-weekly. I mean, on Wednesday and on Fridays, regarding various kinds of openings available in the market and where we can apply, and that too bifurcated into different domains. Like there will be separate openings marked for CFD, separate openings marked for CAE, and separate for design, and separate for EV part. So based upon our wish, we can apply for those openings. And it was really required, because when you are free, or free means when you are totally dedicated to the course, you are getting a lot of time to apply for jobs, work on LinkedIn. But because when you are working, you are getting a very short duration of time. So I used to schedule my job applications around on Wednesday and Friday, because on those days they used to email me with the complete opening list, and I used to apply to them at around 2 a.m. in the morning. Because at that time, what I have tracked upon is most of the job openings are opened up in the midnight. So if you apply in the midnight, then you probably, there is higher chances that you are the first among the first 10 people who are applying for a job. So I applied almost for around an year or so for all the job openings in the midnight itself. As soon as I get them, I used to keep a track of their emails and bundle them up in a separate folder, and then I used to open up and apply to them. So the we did three things. We created a good LinkedIn profile. For good LinkedIn profile, we needed a good CV as well as a cover letter, and definitely you will be requiring to mention your projects, projects as well as your basic certifications and all. So Naveen helped me a lot in doing that. We have both done it rigorously. Secondly, building up a good rapport with the officials or colleagues or peers through LinkedIn. So I used to have a particular WhatsApp group in which there were Mr. Venkat, Mr. Naveen, Mr. Sarang, and Mr. Surya, in which we used to put up my daily status. I like the follow-ups with the various industry experts and the hiring experts, whether my resume is getting shortlisted, whether the things are required to be improved, or what all inputs I need from Mr. Sarang or the technical or as well as the customer success team. So it's been really helpful because without getting your errors rectified, there is no way moving up, and getting them removed is the only thing we can do. And having a support from a great customer success team who's working day in and day out is really helpful. The last thing I would like to say is that they themselves push up a lot from their side. They used to work on things in the background, like doing mock interviews, they have prepared docs for different kind of CFD, CAE, MATLAB, and different kind of interview based questions. Because what we do is I used to give interviews, and then they take the feedbacks, they update their docs. Similarly, they do with the other candidates, and they are increasing their database. And based on the content available on the net, so we have a great interview input from their side prior to having a good interaction with any of the HRs or technical experts for the interview. And it helped us a lot in interview preparation. And the mock interviews helped really a lot. I didn't have many of the mock interviews due to my job, uh, which I uh, which I was working on in the first half of my course part. So, but yes, the tool test and the mock interviews, they definitely help us. I have given a few of the tool tests, but yes, tool tests help you to analyze yourself. Even if you are not getting scored upon them by the technical team or the skilling, then also you can analyze yourself that how much you are lagging behind, how much you are taking an excess time, because the interview is not going to last for more than 1 or 1.5 hour uh, for the tool test part. So there is a time duration always. Uh, but I was luckily happy to say that have been given a sufficient time by the skilling team to work on these things. Uh, the last part I want to cover dealing with the customer success team was the interviews. Uh, yes, I gave a plenty of interviews. I mean, whether it be getting them from my end, or the help from the or through the help from the skilling. I gave a lot of interviews. I gave a lot interview. First interview I gave was in the month of I can say in November with Dassault. However, the profile was a bit different, and they require a lot more experience, so it was not shortlisted. I had complete support from the skilling. Then I gave two interviews at MathWorks. The MathWorks interviews have been really enriching because they totally give me an idea of where I stand in the terms of, because all of us know that MathWorks is having a great product called MATLAB, which is used widely all across the globe. But as you know, the larger or the bigger the company in which you apply, the higher the skills you need. So yes, the coding was the most important part in MathWorks. I gave two interviews, but somehow due to the lack of having experience in the domain of software testing, I was not able to get shortlisted in both of them. But yes, it helped me in boosting up myself a bit, that I can definitely get it correct, uh, whether it be in MathWorks or in some other organization. Then I gave interviews in Masilio Electric Mobility, where I worked upon kind of a case study project for around 10 days. And later on, there was some issue with the I can say that the CTC being offered. So I was not happy with that, so I didn't move into that. Then I gave an interview with uh, this Amber. Uh, so it started it in the Amber interview is where I have just now recently joined on 3rd of August, and it has been a long around, I can say, around 20 to 25 days it took me for completing the complete interview part. In the first week of July, I had the HR interview. They downloaded my profile from the Naukri.com. Secondly, there was a technical round with the general manager R&D, and in the technical round, it lasted for around 1.5 months. It was completely telephonic. So after 1.5 hour, it was completely telephonic, and after having that technical round, I used to take up the daily follow-ups with the Naveen also, and as well as Naveen used to call me up like, "What's the status?" And we used to have a follow-up with the concerned company. So yes, it helped me in getting in touch with them. Then I had a case study round in which I was given a very big case study to work upon, where I have got a support from Sarang sir, Mehul, and I mean, the support engineers are always available if you need to work upon any kind of a project or case study. And then we have worked upon with the great case study, and I have submitted a great report to them, which later on gets shortlisted, and then I again had a technical and HR round, and finally I made it into the Amber, and currently being shortlisted as senior simulation engineer in the CFD as well as thermal domain, dealing with R&D and new product design and development. So yeah, it's a really great profile to work upon, and I've just started to getting into this field again and working into the industry. Bridging the gap is really important when we talk about the engineering domain, technical engineering in India, because the curriculum we have in universities, we can say it is up to the mark, but it lacks the practical knowledge which we require in the industries, and it is not industry oriented definitely. You can take any university, it is not completely industry oriented anywhere in India. So there is a small lag, or you can say a gap, which needs to be filled either by a candidate himself when he joins an industry, or most of the people. I mean, the 70% of the mechanical engineers are not being able to get recruited because of this gap which they have in their skills, uh, which are required in the industry. So how the scaling covers this gap is really important, which gave me a real boost to join this course. So what I did was, uh, uh, I did my mechanical engineering with honors from BTech JCRC. We had a great practical exposure, workshops. I worked on a major project which was being sent for the patent, but it got stuck somewhere due to the some of the issues like financial issues. Next thing, uh, what is required in industry is like you must be an expert in a small domain, but you have to be an expert into that. Like you should know the theory part of it. It's okay. It covers only 10 to 15% of that thing. The remaining 20% is your behavior. I mean, your work setup with your team, how you deal with the challenges, and your ethics, work ethics. The remaining part uh, is all covered by your technical skills. If I am talking about a mechanical engineering based jobs, so what technical skills means? Technical skills doesn't mean knowing thermodynamics, knowing RAC, knowing strength of materials, knowing any subject. If I talk about coding, knowing C, C++, it doesn't mean just knowing them up, like the theory part, or what all charts we work upon, how we solve the mathematical problems. It's not that. Uh, what we basically work on is most of the industries working in the mechanical sector. Uh, if I talk about the great R&Ds like FEV, they are working on high-end tools. Uh, so you must be compatible enough to go there, and within a time period of 10 to 15 days, you should be able to start working on a particular tool and start applying your knowledge of mechanical or any branch, any engineering branch. But you should have the capability to apply your knowledge. I mean, if I'm working, if I take my present example, like I have studied RAC, refrigeration, air conditioning in my BTech third year. I have studied my thermodynamics in my second year of BTech mechanical engineering. But what important uh, is not the theory part. What I have to do is I should understand where I will require those thermodynamic properties, those psychrometric properties, those thermal properties to be applicable in my simulations. Why I need them, what is their impact, gives me a feedback, like if I am going on a right path in my simulation, and that comes from a deep technical understanding of the theory part, and then its application in the real world problems, because they are totally different. So we cannot apply the real gas equation everywhere, so we need to assume things, we need to apply boundary conditions, So we must understand that what are the differences they are going to create, and then only we are able to work. So it's not getting filled up or allowed up in any of the universities as of now. So what Skilling has come up with, Skilling is having MATLAB for mechanical engineers, because those having a great engineering numerical acumen, like some people have a great understanding of solving the ODEs, partial differential equations, and they like solving mathematical equations in a go. So they like going for coding part, because uh, if we would have had if we would had mechanical engineering in university, what we have done is we have covered up advanced mathematical engineering course, and those who have been interested in the mathematical part would have started working on MATLAB for mechanical engineers, MATLAB for engineer itself, and after that they have gained a lot of experience by working on different projects in the college, and they would be able to get placed. But hopefully, I can say that yes, we will all place. There was 100% placement during our BTech, but it is not happening everywhere. Or we can say that the CTC being offered is not good. So we have to rethink on our complete scenario as what we have learned and how much we can apply through that. So it's the basic MATLAB part which I've talked about. Secondly, if I talk about the simulation tools which we used to work upon in the skilling course, they are completely industry oriented, and all of them uh, are used in industry in India and even in the globe, even across the globe, whether it be Germany, whether it be US, wherever you go, they are using the same tools. It's just the scale of the projects they are working on. So what I did was, before enrolling into a course where I need a big investment in terms of a student, or in terms of a working profile, wherever you are investing your money is important. And what I did was I downloaded the whole curriculum of the skilling MHEV project, MHEV program, and then I shared it with my peers in the industry, like those who are working on these simulation parts in Germany, and they told me that like the softwares they are using, the tools they are working upon, and they are upscaling you on are really up to the mark. It's just that you have to work on some of the great projects to get your CV shortlisted and get into this domain. So I didn't give a second thought over their advice, and I enrolled into this MHEV course. And yes, definitely it helped me in upskilling, because as I have mentioned, that working on projects is really important. Without working on project, any course in any industry will not help us, because as you know, the people or HR will be seeing your CV only. They are not going to ask you or believe in you that how much you know, due to the time shortage and the competition in the market. So you have to be unique in your projects and fill up that gap which you have through these projects, and make yourself more employable, and you should have a great skill set. The most important thing for those who are passing out in the year 2020, or those who are in the pre-final year, I mean third year of their BTech mechanical, if I particularly talk about, is that you have a great time as of now, because the recruitments are going a bit slow, or I will say dead slow, because most of them are recruiting the experienced professionals as of now, and uh, it's not that it's their we cannot blame them, because the market conditions are like that only. But the things will resolve in a time period of 4 to 5 months, definitely, and there will be a hiring boost in the month of January for the freshers, as well as for those who are coming up next year into their final year. So what they can do is they can utilize this time, because most of us are sitting at home. They can and definitely enroll into some of the courses. If not the larger master's courses, then they can enroll into small courses. They can understand that yes, they are able to apply their technical skills into the simulation domain, or into a numerical analysis domain, whether it be Python scripting, MATLAB scripting. and then they can get to know that yes, there can be more things which they can work upon and get themselves more employable, so that by the time the market gets sorted out in around 4 to 5 months, or hopefully in 4 to 5 months it will be sorting out. So there will be great job opportunities, and there should not be anything lacking on your CV where you are not, which is not making you getting shortlisted into the job opportunities. Yes, I would suggest and recommend that, especially for those who are in pre-final year and the final year, that definitely you should work upon some of the great projects under skilling, and the team is really great. They will definitely help you in developing a good profile, which will boost you or give give you a higher end to other candidates who will be applying for the same job, and your chances of getting shortlisted will be much higher as compared to a normal candidate who just writes on his CV that he has completed BTech in mechanical and not having worked on any of the major projects. So yes, definitely one should go for these projects. If I talk about particularly, then I have recommended around 3 to 4 people already who are working in the industry, and they are already enrolled into various programs into the scaling. Some of them are working in Mahindra and Mahindra, as well as in Maruti. And yes, since these two industries, people understand that they are big organizations which really use these tools. So the people my colleagues who have enrolled into those programs uh, from these OEMs are getting it really up to the mark, because they are applying uh, the things being learned on a daily basis as the tools are being used daily into the industry. However, they are working on a large scale project, but yes, getting a fundamental clarity is very much important for any of project. So yes, I have already recommended a few of my friends for the course, and definitely the final year and the pre-final year students should look upon the various projects, and if they are free, then they should invest their time into the projects to upskill themselves in the coming months.